Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Danny B, and on the other line, and now he was supposed to join us Monday, but because we had that technical issue on Ustream, it's still keeping it real, only YouTube style. We have Big Al, Big Fella ATM to you guys on Twitter, also spitting-winners.com. Al is kind of, reminds me of myself. Started gambling at the age of 12, parlay cards. He's been doing this for 30 years. Only difference, Al, I think, is that I'm 52 and I'll be 52 and you're 42, but our stories are very similar. Started off on the streets with the parlay cards, progressed to the straight games, and now you own your own site and you're doing well. And we're going to talk about the series, the finals, the hockey game tonight, some baseball. But first of all, Al, I want to thank you, and I apologize for Monday's mishap.
Thank you for having me on, Danny B. And no doubt about it, we definitely grew up in the same places.
So you started as a kid, you started doing the parlay cards. What attracted you to the business? What did you see? Because I'm a street guy. Sounds like you're a street guy. We've never met. We plan on it. What attracted you to the business besides the quick cash? Because you had a niche for it. You were good at it. You had information. What driven you? Dad?
Well, starting off young, like you said, the parlay cards and everything. Your uncle, your grandfather, your father, they're talking about lines. They're spitting things out like 10 times. My uncle's saying nickels. And, I started asking questions. What are these things? And, before you knew it, I was running to the local shops saying my grandfather's outside. He told me to put this in. But before I was putting in the bet, I was actually looking at numbers.
Right.
I wasn't going to lay 3.5. I wanted to take 3.5 and stuff like that. So starting from way back then, it just kept on going and growing and growing. You make a little cash. You have more money than your friends.
Yeah. Yes.
You're taking your lunch money, you're throwing in parlays, turning it into some real money and doing things. And then as I kept doing that, most people won't discuss things like loan sharks and loans and getting chased. I know you discussed...
Big Lou. Yeah, we got the big guy. Seems like you've had your share, and you were a bodyguard and, collector at one time, possibly?
Yeah, a nice collector, but personal bodyguard, pretty much... like everyone talks about, oh, you're professional. That means that's all you do. I look at it as you got to have other things you do as well. It's not like I'm going to take my gambling. I shouldn't even say that. I'm not going to say that, but you got to pay taxes.
Right. Sure.
You want to go bet, you know what I'm saying, and waste that money? You got to have a little something going. You got to pay taxes and, legitimize things. Be smart.
Right. That's what this is about, and being smart, finding value, staying away from numbers that look too appetizing. We've all done it. We're going to get into tomorrow's NBA Finals in a second. I personally expected both teams to be here. The only thing that I was wrong on, and I'm no NBA guru, I thought the Spurs would go 7 with Oak City. I took it on the chin in Game 6. I went down with Oak City.
Always looking that way for a while.
Yeah, a shot here, a shot there makes the difference, But this one, I'll tell you, Al, it's a tough call for me. I'm looking at it, the Spurs are -4. Total, nothing, no movement as of yet. I haven't seen much movement, 198.5. Now, it's Wednesday, roughly 1 o'clock Eastern. As we're recording this, it'll be on YouTube later in the day. It takes fucking forever to download these videos. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Game 1, I don't know. I have a feel Miami's going to keep it close. Maybe a high scoring. Game 1 tomorrow night, I'm going to say if I'm going to do anything right now today, it'll be play the over tomorrow night. You have any feedback on Game 1 tomorrow night and the series in general?
Sure. I can understand playing the over. Basically from last year's numbers, they were 187s, 186, 87, 190, 194. Then when you got to the regular season games they played each other, they went up to 205, 206.5. Right. One went over, one went under.
Right.
So they opened up with the 198.5, so I feel like they kind of made an adjustment already because the Heat have been playing to the over.
Right.
I believe they're 11-3 over in their playoff games.
Yeah, and I'm not a guy, and I take some criticism on this. I'm not a big under guy. You know, for some reason I shy away from them. I don't know why. I'm just better at the overs. I shy away from the unders. I will move on an under, you know, but my strength, especially in baseball, is baseball totals. Everybody has their own strengths, as we know. You know, so tomorrow night...
There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you stick to your strengths. I mean, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and that's what you go.
That's what you do in anything, you know, in life. Baseball coach, manager knows who's good at what, who's good against the lefty, who plays good on the turf. It's acceptance, accepting your strength and going with it. You know, I'm a baseball guy. I'm a football guy. Basketball, I had Donaghy with me. I learned a lot from Tim, and I always knew expect the unexpected, and these referees are dirty. When he got arrested in 07, you know, I've been in this business forever. I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, that's a shock? A fucking dirty referee? You know?
That's another thing, like, these guys don't take that into effect at all. They think you're nuts when you start talking like that.
Nah.
You got these TV guys on, you know, the radio and everything. Oh, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. Other guys, oh, what are you doing having clients bet on games that you think, oh, you know, fixed and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. They can talk about what they want. It happens. Stuff is going on.
Absolutely. You know, and I also was in a position, Big Al, I should say, big fella, to speak to Henry Hill. When I got involved with Tim Donaghy, you know, he had contact information with Henry Hill, spoke to his wife at the time. We developed a little friendship, was on my radio show a couple of times, and, you know, he told me how they fixed the 1979 Boston College scandal, how easy it was for them to approach the kids. You know, if you remember, there was Teddy DePay down at, was it Florida, the basketball kid down in Florida, was it? Teddy DePay, he had a gambling thing, didn't he? There's always
a bunch of guys that have gambling things going on.
Yeah, you know, of course, the most famous one probably is Art Schlichter, but, you know, as far as accepting shit happens, that's important. Do guys like us know prior? No. I mean, I wish I did. People over... I know, I don't. I know, I look for activities that might be suspicious, and that's as far as I can go with that, but... You know, I was privileged to talk to Henry and get into his mind a little bit, and then hearing Tim talk about these referees and how they're told and what to do prior to a game, and, you know, you don't believe it happens, but then again, he spent 13 years in the NBA, and...
Yeah, while you're talking about that, to me, like, everyone looked at, oh, LeBron has 5 fouls, he's in foul trouble.
Right.
But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as everybody blew it up. Joey Crawford comes in, you know what I'm saying? The record's unbelievable. LeBron wins and all that. Mm-hmm. I look at it as the NBA got another game, and they made it look like, yeah, LeBron is human. He's got five fouls on him. He's not untouchable.
Well, they got to cover their ass too. You know, when Tim wrote his book about his experiences, I really believe, you know, that they are biased. You can see these calls. Some of them are fucking horrendous. You know, baseball, no difference. These umpires, their strike zones are fucking crazy. The replay, you can't block the fucking plate. I mean, what type of baseball is this? Yogi Berra would go fucking nuts. You can't block the plate. So you do have to expect that there is shit going on. Wish we knew about it up front, but, you know, to hear... Yeah, it does, you know, and that's every time I lose a game on a bad call. Fucking goddamn it, I guarantee he has money on it, you know. Or I love this one. This is my favorite out. When referees in football get together and they just, there is no flag. There is no flag. What do you got? The over, the under? Put the flag in your pocket, and we'll forget this never happened. I'll give you a couple of dollars. You know, I kid.
I don't know if you remember this, but like 2 years ago, there was a bowl game, South Carolina and Michigan. Mm-hmm. It was the game where Javon Clowney blasted one of the Michigan players and he fumbled, but before that play,
right,
to clearly see the change that the football was short of the first down.
Right.
Spurrier lost it. Like, there's pictures of it on the internet and everything, and he's saying first down, but it's like a foot short.
Yeah. You know, and they are biased. You know, they all have their favorites, and that makes sense. You know, when I spoke to Tim, you know, it was like a kid on Christmas, like, tell me about this, and then he got into more detail, and so they actually walk into the referee room before the game and tell you, hey, listen, let's keep this guy out of foul trouble, this guy this, and, you know, so, again, shit does happen, and that's why we talk about money management. Money management, being consistent with this, Al, that's very important. Stay within yourself, and so Tomorrow night, what would you say? Just off the cuff, it's hours away, still a day and change away. Anything can happen. Who do you like in the series? Who do you like tomorrow night, game one?
Well, I like the Spurs in the series, and I said this last year also that I like the Spurs in the series. And to me, the big difference is the three-point shot.
Okay.
If you look at Game 6 and Game 7, the Heat outscored the Spurs by 18 points from the three-point shot.
Okay.
Alone. And it was a three-point victory and a 7-point victory. Now, that's just not the key alone. I mean, obviously, to me, you got to make LeBron James one-dimensional. You cannot just let him run around and be the point guard and set everything up and take it to the hole and do what he wants, step up for free three-pointers. You got to make him one-dimensional.
Right.
You got to let him score. If you're going to let him score, then let him score. Take everyone else out of the game. Because if you let him start running wild, you're in trouble. That's the way I see it. Those are, to me, the two keys: the three-point line and making LeBron James one-dimensional.
You know, you got some...
He'll run rough shot on you. I see the Spurs, if this guy, Tony Park is healthy, like they say, because if he's not healthy, it affected him last year.
Sure.
If he's healthy, I think the Spurs come out and take the first game and cover.
Okay. And you just like him in the series. Are we going 6 with this, or are we dancing to 7?
What everyone forgets about last year also is if this guy Kawhi Leonard makes a free throw, we have that's it. The game is over right there in 6.
Yeah, right.
Everyone forgot about that.
Right.
Forgot that LeBron had the ball with under a minute in the game, last 2 possessions of the game, and he lost it down low. 2 feet away from the basket, got stripped. Everyone forgets all that. They just know that he won.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Beat him in 6.
I'm going to go with experience in this series too. I don't want to say it's their last hurrah, the Spurs, but they're getting up there. Every time you count them out, they come back bigger, better, and their sound, their mechanics. That Ginobili, he kills me all the time.
Well, he killed the series last year. He couldn't hit a three.
I know.
Like 5 for 18 the last 2 games of the series. He was just chucking them up and missing them.
And then this year in Game 6 against Oak City, he was unconscious. He misses one of those shots, I'm getting the cover, and it's a difference in the series. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I don't know who's gonna cover Game 1. I'm gonna go with the over tomorrow night, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Spurs. I can live with 6, but definitely the Spurs in the series. Unless injury and maybe Parker gets hurt again. But outside of injury, I'm gonna go with the Spurs in the series. Hockey tonight, man. Our Rangers, man. I grew up a Ranger fan. My boy Pat DiPuzzo was an NHL referee. He got sliced up. You remember that referee that got hit with the ice, the skates in his neck?
No, I remember the goalie that got cut up like on the neck and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had a... Patty DiPuzzo. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty frightening. They hit an artery in his neck. Somebody, I guess...
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. We grew up with the kid. He was always a good skater, and he went on to, in the early 80s, actually. He started, I think, in 82 or 83. I don't know when this thing... I think this happened about 6 or 7 years ago. So, yeah. But I haven't really followed much hockey, to be honest with you. I think it's a great sport. I'm just not in the know. I'm rooting for the Rangers. But the Kings tonight are minus 160 down to 150 with a total of 5. Your thoughts on tonight's Game 1?
Well, me personally, I don't like laying 160s or 150s. If I'm going to lay that type of money, I have to feel really, really strong about it, and it's very rare that I will do that.
Okay. So what do you do with this?
My take on this series, I said it before the series even started, that if it was Blackhawks or Kings going against the Rangers, that I was going to take a shot and play the sweep.
Okay.
And the sweep is paying 1,000 to 1 right now, 10 to 1 basically.
So what do you do then tonight? Do you back off of it? Do you lay the goal? Or you lay the money? Or you?
No, I'm not going to back off of it. I'm going to lay the goal and a half plus 200.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the series. I'm going to take the Kings winning 4 games.
Ooh, a sweep on our Rangers. You know what? They are the better team. Again, I'm not in the loop right now in hockey. Back in the day, in the 70s, I was a big Islander fan when they were winning their trophies, Potvin and company. But I shied away from it, I have a guy that calls me once in a while. We call him the Saskatchewan Silencer. He's from Canada. He's pretty good, but sometimes he calls me drunk, and I don't know when to take him serious. Baseball.
It's haven't been relevant in decades, but it's just, I don't know, since the Cups, it's just been a disaster.
Yeah, you know, and so you're kind of, like I said, when I got your bio, it attracted me, the parlay cards. Big Lou, that's how he started too. So it was the parlay cards that attracts the most young bettors originally. Parlay cards have phased out, I think, the way, you know, it was common back in the day.
Definitely did get phased out.
Yeah.
Great.
You know what they did well at the roach coaches, those trucks that come to the construction sites. That was a big thing. The iron workers, the trucking outfits, you know, it was brilliant. I was making $50 as a kid passing them out, you know.
I was passing them out like crazy in school. I was doing all right with that.
Yeah, it was a good gimmick, you know, and that led to one thing, and one thing led to another, and I got into trouble at an early age, joined the military, got out. Yeah, I was in the Army by 17. On my 17th birthday, I signed. I left a month later. I got out in 82, so I've been out 30-plus years. Played some ball in California, and I had nothing to fall back on, you know, as I got back in the game, and that's where I've been. Bumped into Lou in the late 80s. I owed a lot of money again. He hooked me up with a guy who knew a guy, and you know how that goes. And
I could definitely relate to that.
Yeah, the guy who knows a guy the guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. You know, but the business has always attracted me. I'm trying to, like, turn it into fun again. I've lost my thunder, I guess. Doing it so long, you know, having kids, it's very time consuming. So I'm trying to make it fun again, you know. That's why I'm doing these shows. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm just having fun with it. You know, help giving some attention to guys like yourself, you know, guys that people need to follow, you know. Big Fella ATM on Twitter and spittin-winners.com. You know, I was going to give out some baseball tonight. I'm looking at some numbers right now. I mean, I don't like throwing. You know, sometimes I'll put up 1 or 2 plays on my site. Sometimes 5. When I'm getting crazy, I'll put up 7.
That's okay. I mean, as long as you're not steady firing away every single day. I mean, there's a variance to it.
Yeah, no. Last night I took a collar. Ooh, it was bad. I was on a hell of a run, but last night I went 0-3. The Cardinals let me down. They blew a nice lead. I kind of like them tonight at Kansas City a little bit, as I'm looking at a -118. I think Wainwright's on the mound. I haven't done...
Because I'm actually on the same game.
Yeah, I kind of look at that. I got that highlight. Watch this. Now, this ain't official, but I'm looking at 5 games I got right now. I'm looking at value tonight and possibly the Yankees and Boston. I'm not pulling the trigger yet, but... You know, usually when Yankees at home getting money, it's worth a shot, even against a hot Oakland team, you know. And Yankees plus the 35. Boston's getting 130 at the Tribe. Angels have lost, what, 4 or 5 straight? You know, -130. And
Houston's been playing good?
Yeah, it's nuts. Out of nowhere. Listen, they're putting it together. You got Detroit, -111 against Toronto. They took a loss, what was that, a 5-3 loss yesterday? They haven't been playing well, Detroit, but yet Toronto has. So I'm looking at some games, you know, cards. I'm going to highlight that one. That one I feel very confident on as we speak. I'm looking at possibly Detroit. I'm trying to decide what officially I'm going to send out later on. You know, but I'm saying...
We're going to fire on St. Louis
the cards,
15.
Yeah,
Wainwright like 4-1 lifetime against them. The thing that attracts me is St. Louis is like 18-10 for loss this season, and they're like 111-69 the last 3 years, which is like 61% off a loss.
Yeah. No, and plus, you know...
He got bombed for 7 runs against San Francisco his last outing.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to bounce back and come back true to form, because before that, he threw like 7-8 innings of shutout ball 2 games in a row.
You know what? I like your style, Al. You break it down. Street guy with knowledge. You know, a lot of guys can't relate to the streets. Most of these new kids today, and nothing against anybody, they get a nice website going, and now they're professional. They don't even bet, half of them. You know?
I don't see. You know what? There's some really great gamblers, you know, and investments to be made in certain... you know, websites and companies and captives, if you want to say. But to me, I feel 85% of the game out there is all marketing and talk.
Well,
make it look pretty.
One thing that...
You know,
I know. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I can't agree more. I mean, I kind of touch on that because my site's primitive. I don't really even use it. I don't have any content on it. My videos are up there. But I'm really trying to find somebody that knows that world. But it's more than just the bells and whistles of a website. It's experience.
Okay, I mean, I'm no, believe me, like I told you, a monkey could do things better than I can when it comes to the internet and technical stuff. I can't handle all that stuff. I'll stick to picking games and everything.
Right.
But I feel it just like total, I don't know what you want to call them, computer geeks, computer wizards.
Yeah.
You know, it's like stockbroker stuff. They know how to, you know, talk the talk. They could sell you a bridge that isn't even being built yet. And that's, you know, that stuff goes on. It goes on. I mean, I'd rather buy from a guy like you with your background and your knowledge that's going to be, you know, telling the truth. Some days it's 1 pick, some days it's 2, some days it's 5.
Right.
And you're backing them with your own money.
You know, and the thing is, you know, people have slandered me online, and that's okay. I've had a past in the business. I got into trouble for the Wire Wager Act in 2004. Got into trouble when I was a young kid. A lot of the stuff that's out there is not even real. It's shit that people make up. I can't stop that, you know. I've had a lot of guys that worked for me in the past, they got jealous of my success, and it is what it is. I don't even pay no more. I used to let it bother me out. I don't even give a fuck no more.
That's like another thing, too. Like, I'm kind of looking to take a step back and maybe move away from the service thing. In the beginning, you know, I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to build it up. A lot of people, I kind of lost that personal feel with certain clients.
Right.
But like you said, jealousy, you know what I mean? I'm not a guy that's big and flashy, like, you're not going to see me with kind of all kinds of jewelry. You know, I might have a nice car and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not into that flash and all that because it just brings hatred.
You know what? It's sad, Al. It's sad. But it's so true. But what are you going to do? That's life. You know who the biggest haters are? Usually the ones that know you the best. Your friends and family. And I found that out. But you know what? It's going to take me probably about 2 hours to download this video. It does take forever on YouTube. So I'm hoping to get this thing posted 4 o'clock tonight, 5 o'clock. Again, we both like the Cardinals for baseball tonight. Al, very good, very informative. I want you on Ustream on Keeping It Real when we get this thing. You know what it was? I found out it was Skype. Something happened where my multi-call port, the account expired. So we were only allowed one.
I called the thing like rang.
I know. We got the thing ringing in my ear. I was telling Andy, shut that fucking thing down.
I went online.
Yeah.
I went online to see, and you're like, the thing's beeping in my ear. This guy show up over here.
No, it wasn't just you. You know, and another thing too, my structuring of the show was I have 10 people calling at once. You know, I got to be more. Spread it out more, but I want to get so many people on because I never know when Andy's going to leave the country again. So you know, let's recap what we like tomorrow. I like the over in the game as of now. We both like the Spurs in the series. Al, Big Al.
I lean to the over, no doubt. I would lean to the over as well. I mean, like I said, 3-point shooting.
Yep.
You gotta make LeBron one-dimensional. If you let the guy run wild, you have those sharpshooters just hanging out, and you got guys coming off the bench like Battier.
Mm-hmm.
They even had Rashard Lewis coming off the bench one game. He went nuts.
Yeah.
If you let those guys just sit and shoot, you're asking for trouble.
No, it's going to be an exciting, great for the NBA, great revenue, lots of attention. And listen, I give those Spurs and the Heat credit. It's hard to get there, especially the way the Heat have and the Spurs at their age. So tomorrow night too, I like the over. I think you said Spurs with the number, so the Spurs in a high-scoring game. The Kings to bring out the broom against the Rangers. Tonight we both again agree on the cards, but I also am looking at some value possibly in the Yankees and Boston, and I want to go crazy today.
Poison for me. No matter what I do, I go against them. They put up 7 runs with the shitty line.
Well, the Yankees.
They go with a good lineup. They put up 2 runs. I can't get them going.
Who's that? The Yankees? They kill you?
Yeah.
Everybody has that.
I can't put I can't nail them at the right time. I guess my gauge is off, so I just got to stay away from them.
You know what? I feel you. I feel you. You know, it's all about jumping on and off at the right time. But the Yankees are one of the teams that get you. There's certain teams that torment me year in the foot. It's like this team again for 20 fucking years. You've been fucking killing me. I go crazy. But listen, Al, I'll let you go. I want to get this thing. I'm going to give him a little plug here. We have Big Fella ATM on Twitter, also known as Big Al to his friends, and spitting-winners.com. SPITTEN, Al, correct? EN or IN? IN. Kind of like keep it so it's spitting with an IN hyphen win.
More street.
Another street guy from my background, only New York. Brooklyn guy, real quick, Al, is that where you're from? You sound like you got that Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, I did the best I could, though. I don't think I cursed, right?
No, you're good.
I didn't curse at all.
Listen.
No F-bomb.
No, I'm bad. My you know what? I gotta watch my mouth too. I get a little potty mouth, but you know it's the way.
Every second word for me, so
yeah.
I did a great job. I guess the under cash that.
There you go. There you go. You did good. Usually, yeah, I got you. You know where we're from, we have our own languages. Like, instead of saying "Did you eat?" we say "Jeet." Did you eat? You know, people are like, what the fuck did you say? We have our own little slang. We call, you know, we talk through the side of our mouth. But this business is something that we've been doing a long time. So, hey, listen, guys. Al, thanks for joining us today. I'll let everybody go. Again, this thing should be available sometime today. And we'll talk to you. And thanks for your time, Al. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, buddy. Big Al. Big Al. Bye-bye.